Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review, and this time I'm going to kind of continue with my baseball movie theme. We'll be discussing, of course, the most famous, one of the most famous baseball films. And that, of course, is Pride of the Yankees, which came out in way back in 1942, and it's one of the first real big hits. And it was a baseball film. This was Gary Cooper as Lil Gary, and of course Teresa Wright plays his wife, and it also actually stars the real Babe Ruth. And of course this movie came out a year after Lil Gary died of the disease that bears his name, Lou Gehrig's disease. Of course, as a baseball film, it doesn't really have all that many baseball scenes in it, because Gary Cooper, who wasn't very athletic, and they didn't, because at that time in the early 1940s, they didn't really have to take real proper technique to film, for an actual movie, baseball scenes, or how to choreograph a baseball scene to work with the camera, or the movie cameras. So he didn't really have that much baseball stuff in it. But you do have the majority of the movie is with Gehrig and his wife, and Gehrig with his parents mostly through the whole movie. Like how his mother was going to react to him being a baseball player instead of being in college or being an engineer. And his father was proud that he liked that he doing what he was doing, but his mother didn't approve of the fact that he improved playing baseball instead of being an engineer. He had that stuff. And then when he got engaged, his mother didn't approve that he got engaged to this girl, so it's not his best girl anymore. And then of course the mother tried to butt in and saying, hey, you should have this, a shiver robe. You should have this, this model stuff. This model is the same type of stuff. This on the wallpaper. So you have all that type of stuff, but you don't really have all that much baseball scenes. The only real baseball sequences he has maybe him warming up, playing first base. Not too much. Just throwing the ball around. But for Pride of the Yankees, is like I said, it's one of the more famous, better baseball movies that ever came out, and it should be right up there on anybody's list for best baseball movies or sports films. I think that in the last 20 years or so, it's got a lot of criticism because it does not have any baseball scenes in it. It's probably a baseball movie. It has very little baseball sequences in it. But as a film, it's pretty primitive, or baseball film compared to what they had to deal with. Like I said, but I didn't have. Even though I'm not a Yankee fan, I know who Lou Gehrig. Naturally, of course, everybody knows who Lou Gehrig was because he was not only a great ball player, but of course he died of ALS, and they do. Naturally, of course, they have to deal with it in the end of the movie. But in terms of, let's say, you didn't really see Gary Cooper playing baseball. It was awkward. And so that's why you didn't have all that much baseball stuff in it. But of course, one of the best sequences is, of course, when Gary does get into a game, he got hit in the head by a line drive. Of course, the line says, do we have to kill you to get you out of the lineup? So of course, there are hints, of course, what's going to happen at the end of the film. And of course, I think the best sequence in the film is, of course, when he finds out that he's going to be dying and how they handle the slowness of it. Actually, of course, he never mentioned what he had. Of course, we don't know what he had, but at the time in the movie, they didn't mention what exactly he had. And of course, he says to the doctor, "Is it 3 strikes?" The doctor says, "Yep, it's 3 strikes." So you had that going on. And then the wife, I don't want to let my wife know what I have. So when the wife comes, so when Teresa Wright, who does play Garek's wife, says to this newspaper guy who followed Garek's whole career, says, "When's Lou gonna die?" Now how do you figure that out? Well, it's all written all over your faces. It's all over your face that Lou is going to die pretty soon. And of course, and the movie ends with, of course, with the speech, and he walks off the field, and that's how the movie ends. Like I said, it's not a it's a baseball movie that doesn't have any baseball in it, and it's that's why I think that when ESPN, like I mentioned in my Bordeaux review, that's why I think that if they put, and I don't know what the whole list was, but I guess ESPN really started the ball rolling with the criticism of Pride of the Yankees because it doesn't have any baseball sequences in it. But other baseball movies have had it, and this one didn't. So, but as a movie, it's a very good movie, and I understand that there's possibly maybe being another Lou Gehrig movie with actual baseball scenes in it, because they also touched on just one scene only, and it's not a very long scene, about the rivalry between Gehrig and Ruth. Even though Babe Ruth was in the movie and didn't really, address it in the film with Babe Ruth. It could have had something with Babe Ruth in it, with how the two of them hated each other. We could have addressed that, but they didn't. They didn't really do that in this film. I think they did in the Babe Ruth movie with John Goodman. They addressed it, but not so much in this film. They're trying to keep it positive. Because baseball movies at that time they keep it more positive instead of being a little more dark. I have a dark sequences in it. Because they portray Babe Ruth as this great guy and everything else, but meanwhile he had his rivalry with Gehrig, because Gehrig had a great relationship. Part of the reason is that Gehrig had a great relationship with his family and with his parents. Like his mother was always with him on the road, everything all the time, and Babe Ruth's parents dropped him off in an orphanage, born in a reform school when he was a kid, about 5 or 6 years old. So you can understand why he never had a great relationship with his parents. He was jealous of Gehrig that he had a great relationship and he didn't. But like I said, they didn't address that in Pride of the Yankees. But as a movie, it wasn't a horrible movie. But what I'm saying is, if you want to judge baseball movies, I think this one is way up there with. I think my top 3 baseball films has to be The Natural, The Natural, League of Their Own, and Pride of the Yankees. It's like my top 3 in baseball films. So that's my review of Pride of the Yankees. Please watch my other videos. Please comment on. I'm getting a little aggravated because I'm not getting all that many views on some of my newer videos. But please comment on. Please subscribe to my channel. And catch you next time.